Hello, Kidney Warriors! James here from Dadvice TV, your online kidney health coach, and this is Dadvice TV Live. And for those of you who were watching during the countdown, you saw a bunch of us enjoying the music and having a little dance party here. We are going to have a blast tonight. Now, for those of you that are new, that are here for the first time, welcome. Great to have you here. Boy, did you pick a good show to start watching Dadvice TV. My name is James. I'm a kidney warrior. I was diagnosed with stage 5 kidney disease. Matter of fact, that's kidney failure 3 years ago right now. I got out of the ICU where I spent a week the day before Thanksgiving 3 years ago. And the doctors told me, James, things don't look good. You're not going to get any better. You need to get a transplant. We're going to put you on dialysis. And I said, whoa, hold it. Put the brakes on. Instead, I said, please give me a chance to focus on diet and lifestyle changes. I stopped drinking Dr. Pepper. I stopped going to McDonald's for practically every single meal. I started exercising, got my blood pressure under control, started doing a lot better. And as my health improved, so did my labs. Now my kidneys, they're still shot. They're no better today than they were when I was diagnosed with kidney failure. But my labs tell a different story. They show me right on that border of stage 3, stage 4. But more importantly, I don't have a single symptom. And it's all because I learned what you really can do to help improve your quality of life, to improve your health, to help live a great life while you happen to have kidney disease. Now, there's a lot of different stages for kidney disease, from just getting it a little, all the way down to kidney failure, to getting transplants, to going on dialysis. Oh, there's a whole world out there of things to learn about kidney disease. And when you're diagnosed, you go on the internet, you start looking, and boy, it is scary. There is so much false stuff, fake scams, people saying do this, do that, but it's not backed by science. Ugh, where the heck do you go to get good information? Well, that is what we are going to learn about tonight. I've assembled kind of like, it's like the Avengers, okay? All the superheroes of online kidney content are here today. We're going to introduce you to them. We're going to talk about what they do, what they cover, what they've done in 2021, and what's coming up in 2022, so you can learn who you should be following online to better educate yourself about kidney disease. Now, let's go ahead and let's bring everyone here so we can get the party started. Whoop, boom!
Hey!
We're like, what are the 4 superheroes called? Who are those? It's not the Wonder Twins. The Fantastic Four. We're like the Fantastic Four.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be that big guy made out of rocks, whatever his name is.
Thing.
I'd like to be the skinny person, but I'm not, so.
Right.
So let's go ahead and we're gonna kind of do a round table, and I'm gonna try to focus on comments and questions that people may have. And what I'd like each of you to do is kind of introduce who you are, because there's a lot of people out there that are not aware of who you are. The kind of content that you create on YouTube, so that they know why they should be following you. And everyone out there, you should be following all 3 of these guys, and kind of talk about 2021. What did you do in 2021, and what do you look forward to in 2022? So let's go ahead. We're going to get started with Jared.
All right. So my name is Jared A. Brown. My sister-in-law has kidney disease. I've got 2 older brothers who have PKD, polycystic kidney disease. And since my sister-in-law was transplanted in 2018, I've been advocating for others. In fact, Steve Belcher and I have been collaborating, and I've been connected with the Urban Health Outreach Media. For almost 3 years, March 6, 2019, I've been interviewing people every week who are searching for a living donor. So mostly kidney mostly kidney disease patients, but I've also interviewed lupus warriors and sickle cell and other chronic disease warriors. And so that's what it makes this my show very, very exciting. I'm very passionate about it. Is that I'm helping people who are currently looking for a living kidney donor or a living donor in general. And the exciting thing about 2021 is that it happened. Somebody from my show that I interviewed forwarded the YouTube channel, the link to my channel, and watched the YouTube video and was so encouraged, inspired that they donated his kidney. He donated his kidney to the person that I interviewed, and so it was just it's gratifying, but it's beyond me. I'm only an instrument in regards to what I'm asked to do. I feel like this is just something that I've been asked to do, and that's the most exciting thing that's happened because of my show is I've been able to help somebody find a donor from, who's actually been on my show and who's been interviewed. And what's to look forward in 2022? Well, we're trying to interview other people that are looking for living liver donors. We're trying to expand and that's what's so great about the show being called the Warriors Quest Show is that it's not just even though kidney disease is where my heart is, so to speak. I want to be able to expand and I want to be able to connect with so many other outlets and platforms because so many people are struggling, and I want to be able to help as many people as possible.
That is absolutely awesome. And to get you forwarded the email to me, and I don't think people really. It may not click with people in our audience, but when we see those kinds of emails, when someone says something like, my most common email is, "I just found out I was diagnosed. I was in tears. I was scared. I found your videos, and now I'm not afraid. I'm going to start eating healthier, being healthier. I'm going to fight this." And it brings tears to my eyes when I see that. And when you forwarded that person who randomly donated a kidney to a stranger, that is
Right.
life changing. That is
Yes.
amazing.
It's oh my gosh, it's incredible. Yeah.
Oh, so awesome. Now, what are you looking forward to in 2021? The year ahead of us.
I mean, 2022.
Or 2022. Sorry, 2021 to the we're done with 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of years that we want to put behind us, right? As far as COVID and and everything else. So let's look forward, right?
Yeah. So, do you have any big plans for 2022?
Big plans. Just as I said, I just wanted to be able to help many more people than I've already helped. So, Steve and I, as far as the urban health outreach media, we want to be able to expand this, which is why we've actually tried to change the logo so it doesn't just show kidneys. We've changed the logo, so it's we're trying to welcome as many people as possible to the urban health outreach media. So whether they have kidney disease, lupus, sickle cell, all sorts of chronic disease warriors. We want to be able to help them. I'm fortunate to collaborate with Steve Belcher, and he's got 36 years experience, and he's just a wealth of knowledge. And so I've got someone who can really talk the talk, and I'm and I'm blessed to have him, as far as somebody whom I'm collaborating with.
Yeah, that is awesome. Now, how does someone in our audience find you on YouTube?
Well, they can find me a couple of different ways. They can find me on the Urban Health Outreach Media YouTube channel. My show is every Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Besides this week because of Thanksgiving, but and then they can also find me on the my virtually my own YouTube channel called Jared A. Brown with the Warriors Quest Show.
Awesome. And you mentioned Steve, so let's go ahead and meet Steve. Hey, Steve,
Hey,
welcome
James.
back.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for welcoming me back. What's going on, Jared? Hey, Jonathan,
Hey,
how y'all
Steve.
doing? Yeah. How's everyone doing watching this show? I'm Steve Belcher, Executive Director of Urban Health Outreach Media, Urban Kidney Alliance, I always say. And I've been a dialysis nurse or involved in the dialysis industry for 37 years this month, James. In November 1985 is when I actually got started. So this month it's almost out 37 years. And
Amazing.
I got involved in this advocacy from a different perspective. I had an opportunity as a dialysis nurse to see a lot of disparity and a lot of ills in dialysis as far as being on the inside. I work for multiple companies, the largest dialysis corporations in the world, Fresenius, DaVita. And, when it comes down to it, the workers are actually the front line, the ones that kind of hold the company together and got to abide by these some policies which are draconian. But where I come from in this perspective is um, one, I try to shed light on the many dialysis facilities that are popping up around America in urban areas as a result from diabetes and hypertension, the two leading causes of kidney disease. And then I try to come from another perspective of teaching kidney warriors about dialysis, veterans who are already on who may not know what's actually going on in a unit pertaining to maybe the different treatment options, the rights and responsibilities, um, the grievance process, and all other stuff that goes along in outpatient dialysis. So I try to educate from twofold: people who are not on dialysis, to try to make them aware of changing your lifestyle and your eating patterns. And then if you do make it on the other side of dialysis, how to be vigilant and and stay up on your treatment. Know your doctor's orders, what blood flow rate you're supposed to be on, how much heparin you get, how much medication, anemia medication you may get. All of this is important because you have another
Yes, it is.
individual who is delivering this medicine to you. You got someone who's running your treatment. And it's a saying, to err is human. And so if you know what your treatments orders are set by the nephrologist, and if you're at one of these large clinics that may have a staff shortage and you got someone coming from another facility or someone that comes in and out of different staff, and if they're rushing to get you on, then at least you know how to uh, prepare accordingly. So that's where my perspective comes from in this advocacy. And we do shows, as Jared said, he does the Warriors Quest every Wednesday, and I do different um, shows on topics. We just did a show last week with a gentleman. I'm trying to think of the guests that I had on. I had on several guests within the last uh, week or so. So, I mean, we're just trying to get that information out there in real time.
Yeah, and you do so much helpful educational content, and you recently won an award. Tell everyone
Yes.
about your.
Yeah,
It's some little award you got from
A
somebody.
little. It's a
yeah.
great award, right?
To be honest, James, I'm so oblivious to that because when the AAKP, I want to thank them for nominating me. When they sent the email about the award, I'd be very honest and blunt. I kind of overlooked the email. I just thought it was another email blast that they send out until one day I went back to that email. I was sitting in my car, not really doing nothing. and I was flipping through the email, and I actually read it.
Read it a
Not
little
saying
more
I don't
thoroughly.
read all the emails, but I actually
Yeah.
read it
You had the
verbatim, and
time.
then that's when I was surprised, like, wow. And it's the Presidential Volunteer Service Award. In fact, I got it right here. This is the medal.
Wow.
And
So
that's not the
impressive.
president of some company. That's the
No, the
president of the
United
what?
States. United
Exactly.
States. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, a little history. It was started by President Bush when they had the 9/11,
All
and
right.
then it kind of carried on. It dropped off, and then some organization picked it up, and they recognized individuals to doing volunteerism, in the country. And they had 3: the gold, bronze, and the silver. And that one was the bronze, and then you had people who got the silver. I'm sorry, this is the gold, and then you had people who got the bronze and the silver.
That is just amazing. Maybe one
That is
day I'll have
Thank
one
you.
of those.
Yeah, and actually, this is a replacement.
Did you sell the first one on eBay? I would have bought it.
No, actually, I put the first one in my dad's casket when he passed away, and I'm just glad because he passed away last February.
Right.
And so I'm just glad he was able to see me get that award and see me author a book, before he passed away. And so, so yeah, that's a replacement. And I thank AAKP for sending me a replacement medal.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, you deserve it. Now,
He
you
does.
also mentioned your book. Tell us about your book.
Yeah. I don't have one with me, but how to survive outpatient hemodialysis, a guide for patients with kidney failure. And this book is pretty much geared to anyone that's on dialysis or have kidney disease or about to start. And the reason I wanted to write this book, not only to educate folks about kidney disease and outpatient hemodialysis, but to let people who may be in that position, who may be getting ready to start dialysis and they don't know any information, and they're about to start, like in a week or so, where if they read this book, they're able, once they get to the front door and walk through those doors, they know what to expect. And I'm hoping that this book will pretty much lessen some of the anxiety that patients may feel when they start their first day of outpatient dialysis, because it's the unknown. And as I call it, it's a new normal. So this book is to help them navigate through this new process of outpatient hemodialysis. And just like I mentioned about the outpatient, what they go through far as the patient's rights and responsibility, grievance process, treatment options, dietary access. I mean, it just goes from A to Z about outpatient kidney dialysis, so you won't be caught without any information. I have a glossary in the back of common words. I have information on small companies such as yourself in the back of the book as an online resource that they can refer to. There's more than there's more than the National Kidney Foundation, the AKF, and these other big organizations. They're reputable and they're great. However, there's other smaller organizations that are ran by people who dealt with the disease themselves.
Right.
Kidney warriors, or people such as myself and Jared, who are me as a healthcare professional, and Jared as someone who has family members that's dealing with this. so there's other reputable information and online resources out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
that is great. And what are you looking forward to in 2022?
Honestly, James, I'm honestly looking to expand, and what I mean by that, I just go in so many directions. So I want to kind of stay focused, but I had a project that I started right before COVID, and I kind of shut down, and that was filming a documentary called Urban Crisis. And I want to restart that project to shed light again on kidney disease awareness and dialysis, and interview kidney warriors and professionals that's dealing with this situation head on, and what we can do to kind of, as I call it, flatten the curve on kidney disease. Because I mean, it's just, to me, it's got out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, I'm sorry to go back. We just did a show yesterday on home dialysis. It got so much in my mind, but we did a show on home dialysis yesterday.
It's a great interview.
Yeah, I did an interview with a gentleman that does home dialysis as a care partner, and they're looking to expand that. But getting back to 2022 for me is get back on the documentary. Possibly there's another book in the horizon, and more kidney disease advocacy, working with Jared A. Brown, and kind of evolving and getting our message and merchandise out there as well.
Awesome. It's kind of amazing. We're all regular people, and we are actually changing lives and giving people hope, who have kidney disease. It's just absolutely amazing. And speaking of hope, down below right here, right there.
Right.
Let's welcome, for his first time here on Dadvice TV, Jonathan from Hope for Jonathan, or Just with Jonathan. Sorry.
Welcome.
Well, thank you, James. I really don't know how to follow up these two guys over here because they do amazing work and amazing things. But my name's Jonathan Traylor. I'm the host of Hope with Jonathan. Back in July of 2019, I experienced a near-death experience with kidney failure. And fortunately for me, James, I was so far gone that I had to have the central line immediately put in. I was flighted from my local hospital to
there it is.
Yeah, that one right there. That's it. Brings back a lot of memories.
Well, that's the one they put in your shoulder.
Yes.
Well, mine started my
There's
neck.
a two one. He had this one.
Yeah, I had the IJ.
This is the IJ right here.
Yeah, and then I was converted to the perm cap later on. Yep, that's it. And man, lots of memories on that thing hanging out of my chest. But I suffered a near-death experience, and it was an eyes wide open. Hit like a truck. Like I said, I was flighted from a local hospital because they didn't have a dialysis ward. And so when I showed up at my local hospital after fighting what I thought was the flu, they come rushing in after they did blood work and said, "How long have you been in stage 5 ESRD, kidney failure? Because you're in complete kidney failure." And they put me in a helicopter. That was my first time ever riding in a helicopter. So that was an incredible event for me. But I had peace of mind the whole way. And but once I landed, they said I still remember, James, emergency room physician said, "You better grab the crash cart." And he looked at my chart. He looked at my labs. My potassium was a 9. I had already begun labored breathing. Because the fluid had built up in my lungs. And I blacked out from there. And 3 days later, my wife, she would be able to tell this story a little bit better. She already messaged on there, and you put it up on the screen.
Yeah, there she is.
Shout out to Melissa. But she, 3 days later, with her and my mom and my children and lots of friends and family, through the prayers and support of them, I made it through. And it was an incredible ordeal because of the effects of type 2 diabetes and hypertension, and not paying attention to what I needed to pay attention to, and living a life of eating what I wanted and doing what I wanted, and not paying attention to, getting the lab work done, and following a diet, a good diet for me, a healthy diet, making good choices, accountability, things like this, exercise, lack of exercise, things like that. That's what landed me into this near-death experience. And after about a 2-week stay, I left there, went in center dialysis, and later on, I progressed to home hemo with my wife as a care partner. And after learning as much as we could within a 3-month period, I got a special call one day from a friend that her brother had passed, and they wanted to direct donate me his kidney. And by way of direct donation from Louisville, Kentucky to San Antonio, Texas, I was able to receive a kidney because my donor had signed the back of his driver's license to be a donor. And so it changed my life in a flash. I mean, I was just getting used to doing home hemo dialysis, and and then all of a sudden, then I'm a transplant recipient. So now I'm a 15-month transplant recipient, and yeah, it's been a ride, and a lot has happened within a short amount of time. And but I want to say this first of all. When I was first diagnosed, James, with the near death experience, as soon as I could get my hand on a phone, James, I started Google searching things, and kidney disease, dialysis, transplant, and who popped
Same
up?
here.
Who popped up though? It was James with Dadvice TV, right? Okay. So I come across James's video. So I want to thank
That's
James
awesome.
personally. I want to thank James personally on his show for stepping out of his comfort zone and starting a show, and talking about things like what he talks about, kidney disease and prevention. I learned a lot from that. And then because of coming across you, somehow I came across these guys over here, with the Urban Health Outreach Media Network, Steve Belcher, came across, Jared Brown, advocates like Kent Bressler, and with KidneySolutions.org, and Jim Myers, Uncle Jim Myers. So all of them became this really big force in my life and big influencers, including yourself, James. And I was blessed enough to be on Kent's podcast, and then I was blessed enough to be on the Warriors Quest show with Jared Brown. He featured me as a warrior. I was even interviewed by Steve on one of his shows as well. So I did a couple of interviews, and they were a huge influence. I mean, they have no idea what they did for me at that time. Like I said, I was like a deer in headlights. Like kidney disease had just smacked me like a truck. And so they were such a source of wealth of knowledge for me, and man, they influenced me heavily. And so, based upon my near-death experience and being on their shows, I felt inspired that I wanted to get involved, and I became an ambassador with like NKF and AAKP, AKF, and things like that. But I wanted to do a little bit more too, and I thought, you know what, maybe I'm going to start a show too. And I had a kidney page called Hope for Jonathan. That's how I advocated for a living donor. And so then after I got blessed to get the kidney, I ended up changing the name of that to Hope with Jonathan. And I thought, maybe I'll change it to Kidney something. But Hope with Jonathan just stuck. And so I stayed with it. And here we are. I started this in August 2020 is when I got transplanted. As soon as I got transplanted, I started working and doing Hope with Jonathan, and just really humble beginnings. I mean, I've looked back at some of my earlier videos, and I'm just like, wow, I can't believe how
We
far
all know
I've
that.
come. How far
I
I've
think we
come.
all do that. I look at my
Right.
old
We
videos,
all know that.
and I'm
We
like,
all
oh, I
have been
just want to
through that.
delete them and redo them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, it's kind of
But
scary. It's kind of
But they
scary,
give people hope,
right?
seeing us
And
at our worst and improving over time.
absolutely. And so I wanted to do just like them. I wanted to share warrior stories, and I immediately started talking with people like Thelma Warner, who's just an incredible kidney warrior, had a heart transplant
amazing.
recipient. Now she needs a kidney. Guys like Shane Blanchard, who's in need of a living donor as well, and just so many different warriors. And I found out that a lot of us have kind of similar stories, but each one of them are unique. And we have different pathways that how we got there, and how we made it to kidney disease. But the common theme is that we all have experienced kidney disease, and so we wanted to share stories like that. And now we kind of ventured into a little more of educational things where we're talking about renal diets and things like that, and reaching out to other warriors who have now been transplanted and progressed, and we want to share their story, because those type of stories can definitely bring hope to other people who have just experienced.
Mm-hmm.
So we had guys like Mark Cornell, the kidney fighter, on my show, a former amateur boxer who suffered with FSGS, and he shares his story, and that was an incredible interview that I did on Hope with Jonathan. So stories like this is what we're doing with Hope with Jonathan. And to answer your question, as far as 2020 or 2021, sorry, 2021, I would say the biggest thing that has happened with me is all the connections that I've made. Man, I have met some incredible people, and connected with so many warriors out there, and just so many great people. I don't think I could surpass 2021 with all the connections that I made. If I can, then God's going to blow my mind, because I've made some incredible connections, and I just really been blessed. It's just been an honor and a blessing to be able to do Hope with Jonathan, and I'm just proud to be here tonight.
And how can people find you online?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty much everywhere. I do have a website, hopewithjonathan.com. You can look me up on YouTube as well, Hope with Jonathan. And that's pretty much where, I mean, the base is from the website. You can find all of our social media and all of that right there on the website, hopewithjonathan.com.
Awesome. And we have links to everyone's websites. You can get Steve's book all in the description below this video. And we have one more person who wasn't able to make it here live with us, Sam, aka Mr. Kidney, but he did record a message that I can play for everyone to talk a little bit about what types of videos he creates and what he's looking forward to in 2022. So let's take a quick look at what Mr. Kidney has to say.
Hey, Dadvice TV, everyone watching, especially you, James. Thanks again for another opportunity to be on Dadvice TV and to talk to your awesome audience. So, this Thanksgiving, I am most thankful for my good health. See, 12 years ago, my sister donated that kidney, that gift of life, and really saved my life. And now I have Mr. Kidney here on YouTube, where I share my story. I talk a lot about everything kidney. And in 2022, we have big things coming because the past 7 weeks, I've been going live every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time and tackling a new subject each week. So if that's something you're interested in, please join me Monday through Friday noon live Eastern Standard Time on Mr. Kidney here on YouTube. I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving, and until next time, peace, y'all. Hey, Dad.
Well, that was awesome of Mr. Kidney to take the time today to record that. Sam lives here in Ohio, not that far from me, and hopefully someday, now that COVID's kind of starting to get under control and hopefully stays under control, I hope to go up and see him soon, maybe even do a live broadcast together from our phones, out in the middle somewhere, just to show, hey,
right, yeah,
we're leaving our offices.
We're brave.
Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about what I have planned for 2022. So for those that don't know it, I started making these videos just because my doctor told me, he said, James, I'm going to help you get better. We're going to work on diet. There's a lot of things you're going to do. You're not going to like it, but you're going to get better, and I'm going to keep you off dialysis. And he told me, write a journal, because you're going to do so well, you're going to want to write a book and share it with everyone. He knows me. I love it. If something works, I'm telling the world about it. And I hate to write. My spelling is atrocious. When I write something in Word, everything's all underlined. It's like, oh. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take my cell phone. I grabbed my cell phone and I started talking to it like I was talking to future me or past me, like me in the future. And I just started talking about what I was feeling, what was working, what wasn't, what I was going through. The next thing, here's what I'm eating. Here's what I'm learning about. And it just started growing. And now I think this is video 225. I've interviewed so many doctors, dietitians, and we really focus on early intervention and slowing down the progression of kidney disease to delay, as long as possible, the need for dialysis or the need for a transplant. And one of the things, I do have a big move coming up, relocating, but for 2022, what I am hoping to do is help people like you guys who are creating great content that people don't easily find, helping give you guys a bigger voice to reach more people. Steve, you make that video. I'm going to help you get it to as many people as possible. So I'm hoping Dadvice TV can kind of almost become more like a go-to place that then branches off, that'll send people over to other sites to learn more. And I'd like to get more into the educational stuff. And one thing that I really want to do in 2022 is there are so many scammers out there. And I just want to bury them in their fake cures that are dangerous. You know, I'm sick, you know, physically. I have a bad kidney, and these people are sitting there trying to drain every penny out of our wallets with their fake scammy cures that are only going to make us sicker. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to stop those people. You know, I'm going to create so much good content that they get buried and that people will start realizing, you know what? This lady who claims 3 different cures a week, they're not real. And maybe they'll stop spending their money on the stuff that those people are hawking. Which will help them live longer. So that's kind of my goals looking forward, is helping all of us creating content reach more people. And I wouldn't mind getting one of those awards, Steve.
I mean,
I love it.
Hey, James, you may be on their radar. You never know. Because I didn't know that I was getting it. But James, I want to piggyback off something you said about you being almost like a go-to guy for information to send people, you know, to somewhere else that's reputable, because each one of us do something different. Like Jared, his show is different from what I do, and Johnson's show is different, and your show, you have these guests, you talk. And with me, like somebody may come over, start dialysis, and I may do a show on like have your kidney and make sure that you let me turn upside down, that you know what size your filter is, because they're different sizes, and you may just go to your chair and sit down and not look at this filter to see if it's the one the doctor ordered. Like I said, you have different people coming in working. They may grab a 180 when it's supposed to be a 160 and not really look at your orders and set it up. And then you could be on the machine and kind of get sick and never got sick before, because the higher the filter number, kind of like the more it clears and it pours off. So that's what's different about me. If you come over to my show and you're on dialysis, we may do a show on transplant or something like that, but we're going to do hands-on so you can see in real time what to look out for and what to ask your caregivers at dialysis, how much medicine you get, or like what Johnson said, he had a catheter. maybe some people don't know, or their caregivers, when their family members there, that the catheter dressing is supposed to be changed each treatment. And some staff don't do that. They just, hook you up and don't worry about the catheter. I'm not saying all, but it happens. So I just try to make people real aware and mindful of their treatment with my education sessions.
Yeah, and this is stuff we all need. If for some reason I ended up on dialysis in a couple months, I know a whole lot about a renal diet, but I know so little about dialysis, and doctors aren't going to sit there and teach us that. We need things like your show to help people better understand what's going to happen, what they need to check, because if things aren't done exactly right, or the person's just a bit in a rush and they, oh yeah, here's what they need, and it's not the right one, we're the ones who pay.
And James, sometimes there's no gray area when you're dealing with this procedure, dialysis. It can mean life or death in some situations.
I think that's why I connected so quickly with the Urban Health Outreach Media Network when I was, facing kidney failure, was all the helpful hints and tips and information. I mean, they were talking about, much like what he was talking about, all being your own best advocate, knowing about your medications, and having all these helpful tips. All that information was so beneficial to me as a kidney warrior that was on dialysis and newly diagnosed with all this. Like you, James, I had no prior education on any of this stuff. So, it's literally it's an eye-opening experience if it happens overnight to you, because they'll hit you with all this medical terminology and all, and you won't understand any of it. You'll grab your phone and start Google searching things immediately.
It can be extremely overwhelming. And the really cool thing about what Steve brings to the table is that he's using his experience now, and it's not just outdated information. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to say maybe 3 weeks ago, roughly, I was interviewing somebody on the Warriors Quest show, and she was talking about her fistula. And so that was kind of the theme for my show, was the AV fistula. And Steve was nice enough days before my show to text message me a couple photos he thought would be useful for my show. While I'm showing these as an overlay on my screen, he's commenting while it's live, but then I say, hey, listen, why don't you just come onto the show? And so I invite him onto the show, and he's able to actually talk to her directly on the show about it. And it was information that was pertinent, because he was talking about how the access sometimes is, I'm going to let him say it because I'm going to say it wrong, but he's talking about how the access sometimes is put on the lower part of the arm instead of the upper part of the arm. I'm going to let you say it, Steve, but it was awesome.
Yeah, no, absolutely. A lot of these surgeries, they go in the lower portion of the arm where the veins are kind of small. And so what happens to a lot of kidney warriors, not all, but many, that access doesn't develop like it should because of the small veins. So they may have multiple surgeries, where the chart that I gave Jared has the vein sizes all throughout the arm, and most of the larger veins are in the upper part of the arm. And so by the time they finish the bottom part and they can't get it to work no more, whatever the case, they end up on the upper part and it's working. And my thing is, why you just didn't go in the upper part in the beginning when you know there are larger veins up there? But again, people get with kidney failure and they get fast tracked. They don't hear this type of information. They're dependent on they depend on the surgeon to be the professional. And the thing about it, if you get an access in the bottom of your arm and then you never get to use it, it never works, as I always say, there's no refund. There's no refund with insurance. It's on to the next arm.
Yeah.
That I get really upset when I talk about that, James, because I can't tell you in my 36 years how many kidney warriors are walking around with 3 and 4, even 5 multiple accesses.
I've interviewed people with 5.
All that surgery, risk of infection.
Oh. Yes. And that's why I get so passionate and kind of worked up when I talk about this, because I just seen it so much in the lack of education that I almost seem like I try to force my education on kidney warriors, because I don't want them to experience what other kidney warriors had to go through.
Right.
Yep. Hey, question for you, Steve. Someone asked, do you get sick after dialysis? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, James, everybody's different on dialysis. Some patients, when they go through treatment, they feel well, they go to work. Some patients, they get they get tired and fatigued. And the reason for that, James, is one, if you're pulling off 3 to 4 liters of fluid within 3 to 3.5 hours, that's a lot. That's almost like 10 pounds if you talk about 3 liters, 2.2 times the kilograms gives you the pounds. So you're taking off 10 pounds of fluid, and now you're going home. Of course, you're going to be drained. That's the word I was looking for, drained, fatigue, or weak. Some people, it takes a little longer to recuperate from that. I've heard some patients say, after I got off dialysis, I go home and go to sleep, and I didn't feel better until the next day, where I had to come back to dialysis again. And then they had to go through that whole process. And then you got people who do it at home hemo, that do it for a slower period of time, that they feel great. Yeah. So in my opinion, James, it depends on the person, the treatment that they're doing, their condition. It's a multitude of things that depends on whether you're going to have a quality treatment or one that's going to be plagued with feeling bad, cramping, and feeling drained.
Yep. Thanks for answering that. And I've got another question here. I'm going to address someone asked about the artificial kidney. For those of you out there, they are working on an implantable artificial kidney. I spoke to Dr. Shuvo Roy, who's leading the team developing that. About 1 year ago, we've stayed in touch with his team via email. They're making progress. They've gotten a lot of funding, could still use some more money for the kidney project to bring this all the way here. But realistically, for everyone out there wondering and thinking, oh my goodness, an implantable kidney, awesome, I want it. We're probably looking around 2030 before it actually starts, the very first version of it becoming available to kidney patients. And they'll continue to improve it. So it's on the way. They're working on it. But right now, if you can, focus on diet and lifestyle changes to slow down, put the brakes on the progression of your kidney disease as much as you can, so that if you need to go on dialysis, you're not on it as long before something like that is available in the future.
And James, if I may say, not to put in a plug for them, but a lot of warriors who may have kidney disease stage 2, 3, 4, or even 5 may not know about Rinadeal, okay, which is a pre-probiotic supplement that works to eat up the nitrogens and the waste and eliminate it through the stools.
I can't get my focus to work, but yeah, it's a probiotic. I've been taking it now, I think about 2 years. Helps with your gut health, and it's designed for kidney patients, especially stage 4 or 5, and there is an FDA study going on right now. It's going to take a few years, but they're hoping to make this prescription in the future, which would be fantastic.
Wow. And James, I would like to say, if anybody watching this show that would like a discount price on that Rinadeal, they can go to my page, Steve the Kidney Nurse, on Facebook, and I have a coupon code that they can enter and the site that they can go to and get a discount.
Does that
Awesome.
does that work kind of like a renal binder that is sucking the toxins out of your body? Is that how that's working?
So it's a good bacteria, and once it's in your gut and the size of it is large, it's kind of, I think of the game Pac-Man. It's gobbling up a lot of that nitrogenous waste that normally gets absorbed into our bloodstream, then our kidneys got to filter it, but it's gobbling it up, and then you go to the bathroom, you take a dump, and not as much of it got absorbed, so it's less of a burden on your kidneys. That's how it works in a very abbreviated version.
Right.
No, that's fine.
That works for
Yeah.
me.
And so the reason why I brought that up, James, because again, a lot of people with kidney disease don't know about these type of products, and it's not one of those fly-by-nights that you were talking about in the beginning.
Yeah, it's
This
not one
is
of those.
scientifically proven. There's research data out there on it and much information. So the more people know, the better. That's why they say knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm. I take all the medication my doctor prescribes. I also take Rinadeal, which is recommended by both my doctor and my renal dietitian, and I take a renal multivitamin called ProRenal Plus D, made by an awesome company, Nephroceuticals, right down the street in Dayton, Ohio. I was actually hoping to have a video from them, but they didn't make it in time. It was such short notice that I gave. I think I sent the email to them on Friday and said, hey, can you record a little video telling us, who you guys are and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But it's an outstanding company. I see them at the kidney walks back in the day before COVID. Whenever I call them up and I say, hey, I'm going to do a giveaway or something, they are so supportive of our kidney community. They're like, yeah, James, send us the names. We'll send them the stuff. We're happy to help support the kidney community. And that also was recommended by my renal dietitians. So the two things that I take, Rinadeal and ProRenal Plus D, plus being as healthy as I can. Now I'm focused on portion control. That's the one thing I let get out of control. Yeah, I'm eating healthy, but I'm kind of overdoing it.
It's important.
Yeah, and then here comes Thanksgiving, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I have no problem. I've got packing and cleaning and organizing to do. I'm good with. I won't be eating Thanksgiving.
I hear that.
All right, so we are now at the top of the hour. I want to do one more quick round, see if you guys have any last closing comments you'd like to make for everyone that's out there. And we'll start with you, Jared.
All right, so I want to thank you, James, for letting me come on. I just want to say that I admire and I respect everybody who's going through kidney disease, and if I can be a source of hope, or if I can give somebody something to look forward to, that's gratifying for me. It is, and I hope that we can continue to give people hope. I hope that we can give people something to look forward to, and I'm looking forward to helping as many people as possible.
Awesome. How about you, Steve?
Yes, I'd like to piggyback off of what Jared said, James. I'd like to thank you for bringing us on to share this platform. Is really important, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate this. Just like to let people know, if you need any information on kidney dialysis education, you can always come to Steve the Kidney Nurse Facebook page and YouTube channel, especially the YouTube channel. We can use some more subscribers, but that's all we do is education all day, every day. And If you'd like more information, you can go to our website at www.urbankidneyalliance.org. And if you would like to pick up my book, How to Survive Outpatient Hemodialysis, a guide for patients with kidney failure, you can go to www.stephenlbelcher.com.
And we have a link in the description in case anyone's like, how in the heck do you spell that?
Make it easy
and I
for
have your
them.
book. I was actually looking for it, and I think I packed it already.
All right,
yeah,
all right.
Okay.
I was running around. I was like, I saw it last week. Where is it? All right.
As
How
long
about
as you
you,
got it
Jonathan?
packed.
How about you, Jonathan?
First of all, I just want to thank you again, James, for this awesome opportunity and your platform. And definitely respect everyone on this panel. If you haven't already, subscribe to Jared and Steve's channel and go over and check them out, guys. It's definitely worth your time and effort. But you can check us out also, Hope with Jonathan, over on YouTube. And just want to encourage you guys, maybe you've gone through kidney dialysis, or maybe just recently been diagnosed with kidney disease, or maybe you've experienced a near-death experience just like me with kidney failure. I just want to let you know that you can make it. And know right now things may not look like that you can. Maybe you're not understanding the renal diet and don't think you could ever do that, but you're looking at a guy that at one time was 350 pounds. I ate what I wanted, did what I wanted, and I totally changed my life. And you're looking at a total changed individual because of kidney failure. So you can make it. You just have to change your mindset and try to stay as positive. Surround yourself with positive people, and never give up on hope. Always continue to believe in hope and believe in yourself. Find yourself a good support group, whether it's not always family, friends, community, church, wherever you can find support. And I definitely believe in that. And you guys take care. God bless. I definitely appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome. And I want to thank you three for being here. Thank you, Sam, Mr. Kidney, for creating that video. This is my last video of November. I get to take a little bit of a break. I'll be back in December. I think I have 3 shows scheduled. I'll probably pop in a few more. You guys will see me, these guys, all throughout next year as we help you, what I love to say, kick kidney disease to the curb.
Nice.
All right. Bye, everyone.